All right. Hey, everybody. Matt D'Souza here with Flex Wash. Today, we're going to go over 3 myths of why you shouldn't run a club program. So, I was at the NRCC recently, the Northeast Regional Car Wash Convention, and I had a customer that came over, not a customer, a prospect. They came by the booth, and we started talking about their wash and why they weren't running a club program. And so, let me just say before we get into it, I'm not telling anybody how to run their business. They can run it however they want. And if somebody wants to not run a club program, that's their prerogative. They should run their car wash exactly how they see fit. There's no one size fits all in this market. But what happened in this conversation was really interesting. And so I want to share them with you, share what happened in this conversation, and just talk about each item. So I was talking with them about their location. They're saying, okay, they're in a town, about 26,000 people. No red flag there for me, according to what I've seen. And I've seen literally and spoken to thousands of car wash owners who have run club programs in larger towns and even in smaller than 26,000 in terms of population. So in this conversation, the first thing they said to me was, well, we're late to the game. And it's like, okay. So you mean you're late to the game as in you didn't start offering a club membership program until right now and other people have beat you to it? And they said, yeah, that's the situation. So what I want to say is, I would say that now is a better time if you were to offer a car wash club program or an unlimited program than ever before. And why do I say that? Well, you're going to be riding on the back of all the education that all other car wash companies have done to the consumer in the last 10 years. See, if you ask somebody 10 years ago, do you belong to a club program or a membership program at your car wash? They might go, well, what do you mean, right? And maybe still a percentage of the population would say it, but it's nowhere near the overwhelming percentage that would have said it, let's say, 10 years ago. So what I'm saying is all the other car washes out there have already educated the consumer about the benefits, how it works. And so a new entrant into the market isn't going to have to tell people anything about it. They're already all going to know what's going on, or a large portion of them are going to know. So even if you just hung out a shingle out there and said, car wash club programs available, people will get it, they'll understand, and you'll get some buyers. Just it'll happen, right? They'll have maybe moved to town and have already had a program somewhere else before and see that you offer one and want to get on board with that. The second thing I would say about this is because other people have run a program, club programs, maybe in your town or not in your town, and people have been members of it, whether in your town or outside, they know they know the program. And maybe that one wasn't the right one for them. Sort of like, I've been to a bunch of barbers. I know what I'm going to get for a haircut, but maybe I didn't like my particular barber. Doesn't mean I'm not going to go to another barber, right? Same thing with car washing. Folks will maybe not like where they had their original club membership, and then they'll look around the market for another club membership. Or they've moved to town and they had a club membership, as I said before. But the third way this could happen is 10 years ago, let's say somebody was 15 years old. 10 years later, out of college, have a job, have a vehicle, want to keep it nice. Now they are a potential new customer, and maybe their parents had a club membership before, so they know about it as well, and now they're of age and they can take advantage of it. They have enough income to do it. So you're talking about a new pool of people, whether it's new people to town, people who have belonged to a club program from one of your competitors, or people that have just aged into the program. So the idea that you're too late to it, I would say, is absolutely the opposite. You can ride the coattails of all the other marketing that's been done on behalf of club programs over the last 10 to 15 years. So I would say, no, you're never too late to start a club program. In fact, it's easier now than probably ever to start a club program, and cheaper now than it was ever, in fact, too, because in the past, people had to have RFID stickers. And some people were charging car washes $2.50, $3, $3.50 per RFID sticker if you weren't buying them off, let's say, Alibaba or somewhere else, right? So that was a cost to run the program. In fact, there were other costs to the program too. You needed to have gates. Well, nowadays you don't need gates. You don't need RFID stickers. You can run it off the license plates. The license plate recognition technology is solid nowadays. The gates are nice to have, but not a need to have. So you're talking about less money to invest in the program, a more educated consumer. Now, the second reason that they gave me was a really interesting one. And I think when everybody thinks about this, they're going to look at it and say, okay, the math, I get what he's saying, but it doesn't really make sense on a large scale. He said, well, right now, I've got some customers that come 5 times a month. They're single paying customers, and they come into his wash 5 times a month. Okay, so let's say, that value of that customer would be, let's say, more than a club program customer, right? But when you think about that, you're operating in a car wash environment right now that's competitive. And if you're in some sort of bastion of non-competitiveness, if you're somehow isolated, there's nobody else in your market, I would, maybe sit still, not make a lot of noise about it, but there are going to be other people coming into your market if they aren't already there. Other people have plans. There was just recently a car wash chain that has a fund out there to put 12 car washes in the Toledo area. 12 just for their brand into Toledo. So if you think that your market is somehow not going to find other people to build car washes, then you're mistaken. It's not that the population has grown that much. It's that people actually like washing their cars even more than they did years ago, and the club program has just made it that much more easy. We'll get into that in another video, but let's go back to this. So you're talking about a situation where you're trying to preserve your single wash customers because you think that in overall dollars, you're going to make less with a club program. I would say that's false for 3 reasons. One is you have a customer coming in 5 times a month. Okay, 5 times, let's say it's $15 a pop, right? So you're making $75 on that customer on a monthly basis, and they're getting their wash, right? So that seems like a good relationship. What about when the car wash down the street opens up, the one that's being built right now, or you don't even know about, it's coming. And he sees they've got a club program there for $30 a month. So for less than half the money, he can even wash more or the same amount and not even have to conduct a transaction each time. So he can just go in the club lane or the unlimited lane. So you're a sitting duck for those customers to be taken from you, right? That customer has no loyalty to you, right? Maybe you're giving like a wash 10 times, get 1 wash for free, hypothetically, so sort of a lower tier non-committal rewards program. We can go into those too, but let's say you're not. He didn't say anything about that he was offering that. That's a problem. All those customers are going to leave you. Consumers are not going to be spending money in ways they don't have to, right? That's an easy one. So you're going to lose those customers the second competition comes to town. The second thing is you're tying up that customer with a transaction each time. So even if you are making a bit more money from that customer, if you had them on a club program, they could come in there more easily and they would be your customer, right? Maybe if they like your wash that much, well, that means they're going to stick around on a club program too. So you've got that scenario where I don't think there are that many people who are washing that many times as a single wash customer who will stick around once competition comes in. The second thing is the better product for the customer, maybe not exactly for your wallet, but I think so in the long term, is the club program. And even the heavy users on a club program, in many cases, tell people about how they keep their car clean, right? They brag about it to their friends. They're just an advertiser for you, basically. So that was the second reason, and I just don't think it holds a lot of water for a lot of people. I think if the math is done out and you look at the competitive landscape out there, it's better to lock in your loyal customers now versus waiting for a competitor to come and then you have to fight for them. Because when a lot of the new car washes come to town, they give a whole month of washes for free, or they give a free coupon for a wash. You're going to be in a bad spot in that scenario. You're going to experience a vacuum of all your customers going over there because you're not offering the most innovative program. And again, you don't have to offer a club program. If you've got a different pricing model and it's working for you, I'm not saying you have to do it, but I'm saying that the reasoning there of not offering it, I don't think it holds a lot of water in the competitive world of car washing now. The club memberships are here to stay. It does work out for the ownership. A couple of instances where maybe it wouldn't, but I don't see them often. So the third reason that this customer gave me, and I never heard this before, and this was really interesting. They said, well, it's going to be more wear and tear on my equipment. So let that sink in. This person said to me, I might have to replace some equipment because it gets used. Well, that's like saying if I own an ice cream shop and I have to replace my scooper because the little clicker on the side doesn't work because I've scooped so much ice cream. I mean, isn't that a good thing? Like, and if car wash equipment is getting wear and tear, can't you just replace it in phases? Or even if you didn't replace it in phases, aren't you just making more money on the club program? You would make more money in the club program. In almost every case that I've seen, people are making more money with their club programs. So you would replace your equipment to give them a better experience if you thought it was going to give too much wear and tear to the equipment. Now, let's say you said, okay, well, I'm close to retirement or whatever. Okay, I can't fight with every single reason that you wouldn't want to do certain things at your wash, but the customer wants the club programs. We all know that now. There's a lot of data out there about that. Car washes love it because it gives a steady stream of income for sure. And the only thing that I could see that maybe would stop you is, let's say you were going to retire, you wanted to get out of the business. Well, then I think now is probably a great time to sell. Plenty of people who would buy your car wash. But anyways, hope those three reasons I talked about give you some explanation of what I see out there in the market. Again, not pushing people to do club programs. Like, at my company FlexWash, I don't make more money if you do a club program or not. I just wanted to let you know what is out there. Hopefully you found this video interesting. Thanks a lot.